Hi
Hi everyone.
everyone, welcome to Back to Infinity Wealth. We have been away. We've been in outer space.
Yeah. We went to space last time. We liked it so much we were back again.
We just went back, yeah, because we are in space at the moment, aren't we?
Look, I'm in this
We're
space.
floating.
Martha. I'm in this space.
Yeah, that space. That's it. Yeah, space. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? It's been a long time. We apologize. Lot of things have been happening in our lives, and we had to take a little bit of a back step, didn't we?
Yeah, definitely.
But this is going to be quite a big, not a long, but a good summary of what we've done.
Yeah.
And the reason why we've chosen the backgrounds is Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. And we have been in space because we feel not that we've taken any drugs, by the way, but we feel spaced out. The way the market is. So what have you got to add, young Padawan?
Yeah, well, I feel like a growing old man now. I feel like since the last time we was on this show, I think I've been adulting a bit more, which is why I've not been on the show.
This could be construed the wrong way, mate.
Oh, yeah. Well, take it how you want, mate. But I feel like more of an adult now in the last 6 months, mate. It's been crazy. But I think we, like you said, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to catch up on. Crypto stocks, some of the calls that we made in our previous videos, which I mean, if people, again, not financial advice, but if people use their own education,
go back 6 months and then what we had said 6 months ago. But the other thing is on a serious note, I've had a few health issues and things like that, and I've had a few issues, so I've been off air. And Kiki obviously is in 9 Designs as well. And he's had to do a lot on the business, so apologies, but we promise you we'll be back to normal now, and we'll be posting regular videos, right?
Definitely. So to bring you,
what should we talk about first, Kiki?
So you know what, I think it's due. We need to talk first and foremost about the crypto, because it's absolutely like gone bonkers, especially the bonkers period has come. Christmas is coming, and it's a normal thing for it to start exploding just before. But let's get your take first on the crypto market, because obviously I think I'll leave to what I think to later. What's your perspective on the crypto?
All right. I mean, look, Bitcoin. I mean, the crypto has been exploding the most has been Bitcoin. Ethereum really didn't catch. I was surprised, actually. I thought Ethereum would catch more of a bid, and I thought some of the altcoins would catch more of a bid. Not all of them have, with the rise of Bitcoin. I think they'll follow. But the main thing is being how quickly Bitcoin just went zooming up, basically. Talk in the press about billionaires going into it and stuff like that, and obviously the new ETF, and I think that has to be addressed. I urge everyone.
Seen this,
I urge everyone, if you're into crypto or you want to explore crypto, please, for God's sake, do not buy an ETF.
Do not get into that space.
Do not buy an ETF. Right? We're not giving you financial advice, but I'm going to tell you what my experience has been about ETFs. Right? One of the main things is, can you remember oil dropping years ago, recently, but before as well? The problem with ETFs, and especially commodity type ETFs, is that they're doing a forward month contract and they're rolling all the time. They've got fees on that. They've got middlemen. So let's say, hypothetically, if you did want to buy Bitcoin, right, and you bought instead of Bitcoin, you went on to buy the ETF, right? What would happen is that, let's say Bitcoin went up 100%. You'll be looking at your portfolio going, well, it's gone up 100%. How come my portfolio has only gone up 50%?
Yeah.
A lot of that is management fees and the way they roll it and stuff like that. So if you are, in some respects, I think that the ETF will be used to short Bitcoin. It enables people to short Bitcoin a bit more, basically. So I think there'll be, you saw this euphoric rise going, yeah, Bitcoin is always the same. Always the same. It's human nature, euphoria, hitting the high and then dropping back down. So I think Bitcoin will drop down. You'll probably get a 20-25% correction in Bitcoin. I think you've already had a 10% correction in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I think it's still going down. I reckon maybe 20-25% correction back in Bitcoin because it went ballistic, right? Then you'll find that it will go up after that, but there is a correction underway in Bitcoin because of all the euphoria that went on. So you've got to realize that if you do like Bitcoin and if you are interested in Bitcoin, there's various, we've got no affiliation to any of these companies, but there's Coinbase, there's Kraken as well. There's a lot of websites where you can directly invest in Bitcoin, buy small, not just Bitcoin, any crypto. So just be mindful of that. If you are interested in that, don't just say, well, I'll dabble in that ETF thinking, well, I'm going to, don't do that because you won't you'll get all the losses, but you won't get the benefit. Yeah, you'll get all the losses, but you won't get the benefit. Agreed. So just be aware of that. With my oil trade, I remember, this is here going back years ago, and someone said, well, they did the same. I said, no, never buy an oil. USO was the oil ETF. Yeah. The problem is that they are front running contracts all the time and they're rolling contracts over and it costs them money. So the overall amount, I was looking at it going, well, actually oil's gone up. How come? Yeah. It's gone up 2%. How come I'm not making any money on USO? And the main reason why is some of the ETFs like that have rolling money and they do forward contracts all the time. So when you necessarily buy an ETF, just be careful of what you're buying. Okay.
Yeah, and I also think on that note, I mean the sheer volatility of crypto, right? And putting that into an ETF isn't especially at this stage isn't necessarily the best recipe for success, so and it will play with your emotions, especially if you're a amateur to mid investor, right?
I mean, and the best way to do crypto is you don't necessarily need to buy it when it's on this huge galactic rise, doing a pun. But when it's on that huge rise, it's not that, and it's hitting the peak, it's not the time to get into it. It's not the time to get into it. The time to get into it is, if you remember, people hated Bitcoin. People, they didn't know, and everyone. All of a sudden, they're all out talking about it. They've already bought what they've bought. They're all talking about it. They pump it up to dump it. And that's it's this pump and dump cycle. So just be aware of that.
Definitely. 100%. I think this is nothing different to what we were saying before in terms of crypto market. Like, there is 100% there's money to be made here, right? And 100%. And I'm part of that cycle where making profits smartly, taking them off, reinvesting some smartly at smart prices when prices dip, not waiting for the moon. Not waiting for always it's gonna go to $10 or it's gonna go to $100,000 Bitcoin next, etc. Be smart with your money. If you are invested in it, take profits, take your money, take what you put in out basically, as soon as you can, right? So you're completely 0% risk. You're taking away your risk. So be a smart investor, right? And we're not saying don't. We never said the reason why we talk about crypto is because we know what money there is to be made there. We're not oblivious to that. And the same thing that is in stock, same thing that is in property. You be a smart investor. You don't buy at the wrong price. You don't buy when the hype train has already left the station. It still goes true, but equally at the same time, it's I think the next thing that I want to talk about, Martin, is really interesting. Like equally, well, we spoke about this before, like NFTs, right? And what NFTs are and what they stand for and what they mean. Like, it's a prime example. If you're getting involved in that kind of stuff and you can make money and stuff, great, do it. But don't hang on for the things that are not guaranteed or 100%. But Martin, what was the explanation of the?
Well,
the little kids?
Just before we came on air, I was saying to Kiki, there was someone, I'm not follow on Twitter, but he tweeted it, right? And I thought it was fascinating. This girl on TikTok basically said, "Oh, what are NFTs?" And we're describing NFTs to people, and they were saying, "Well, actually, an NFT is something that you don't actually own. You own it, but you don't own the thing, the underlying asset. So you don't actually own the underlying asset. You only hold the right to something that you don't actually own."
Yeah.
Right. So, and then you've got the rights to that thing, which doesn't actually own this.
Yeah.
But you own that, and that's what NFTs are.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's a digital format of something, and we were talking about it, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
If you think about it logically, you think, what are you talking about, mate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to own something. I don't want to own something digitally.
Yeah.
So there are things that are owned digitally. The one that sold for 39 million. Can you remember that?
Yeah, people.
That collage of paintings and stuff like that. Now that's different because whoever designed that made that, and that's that NFT basically, right? But people are doing NFTs to tweets and stuff like that. If you remember the Twitter guy, Dorsey, right? Yeah. I think 2.1 million or 2.5 million, whatever it was. I would say NFTs are great for artists who want to make some extra money. Or if you're a youngster, you want to try and make some extra money. As a collector's item, that's what I think of it. I think we're out there.
In space.
We're out there, right? That is a true tulip. That is a true tulip.
Definitely. The best way I could explain it in like the most, in the most sensible way that makes sense, right? Just like, crypto now seems like a decade-old thing, especially to us, Martin. It's like, we're
all fogies now.
Crypto was that, been there, done that, mate. But but one thing it taught us, is how quick things move, how quick new technologies develop, how quick.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, how quick we're starting to learn how much we can do with blockchain technologies and stuff, and obviously. We're at the very early stages of what we're at crypto when people are saying and snubbing Bitcoin, and NFTs it doesn't make any sense at the moment, right? There's no actual value. And yes, there can be, there actually, if you read into NFTs, there are some fantastic use cases for it, right? Fine art is a great example, if there are.
All right. So let's say fine art. Right. Yeah. So let's say, there was a Banksy one where he was going to burn the painting and he burnt the painting and then put the ashes into an NFT or something like that. Yeah. What the fuck's that about? Yeah. Sorry, excuse my language. What is that about?
So I'm talking more about like when you've got the comparison of like fine art basically. So, in today's world, you get a piece of fine art is worth something. It's worth a value. It's worth something. That only one person holds that, right?
Yeah.
So you've got Beeple, for example, is one of the biggest artists selling NFTs, and his NFTs have gone for absolutely massive amounts. I don't think any of his work has gone for less than $1 million, basically, right?
Well, the guy's minting money.
Yeah, he's being smart, right? As an artist, he's being smart, right? And obviously, with his case, all his art is created on digital means. So he uses softwares, 3D rendering softwares, and everything. So it's not hand paintings; it's 3D rendering software. So his initial, that's what I mean. So there is sense to a point of where it could go to, basically, right? But at the moment, like you said, tweets, pictures of, I've seen pictures of socks, like literally someone's taken on their phone, are selling for 0.5 Ethereum and all this kind of stuff. So so there is obviously a lot of nonsense involved in the industry, but that's what I wanted to sort of make aware of. This is the market we're looking at compared to the market 20 years ago, which made a lot more sense. There was a lot more common sense around then in terms of you're buying a stock, the company is creating X amount of revenue, they're going up, so your value of your stock will go up. simple as bananas, right?
Mm.
Simple as buying a bunch of bananas from Sainsbury's. It's not like that anymore, right? There's complexities. There is, and if you look at the underlying, reasons for things like NFTs and what crypto initially was as well, it's just, like fun and FOMO and just off of nothing, no basis, basically, right?
It is a herd mentality thing.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
It's a herd, and like you said, FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
So it's a herd mentality type thing. A lot of guys I've spoken to as well. I said, "Oh, what should I do?" I said, "Look, you're an artist.
Yeah.
If you're an artist, create an NFT and sell it.
Yeah,
you can sell digital music on an NFT as well.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Create something and sell it that way at least. But you don't necessarily need to buy something because the thing about anything in life, whether it's stocks, shares, houses, or anything else, the value is a perception of what other people value it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So you could say, well, I've got X amount. Oh, I've got a car, right? This car is worth X amount. Yeah, in your head, it's worth X amount. But if you've got other people going, well, actually, mate, it's not worth X amount. It's worth X minus 2 or whatever, right? That's what the real value is. You may think its value is that. So with NFTs and with Bitcoin and stuff like that, the intrinsic value and property, everything, right? Any asset, it's what someone is prepared to pay you for it. And if they are not prepared to pay you that value, it's therefore not worth that value.
Exactly. 100%.
And you've got to always have your exit strategies going, well, actually, this is what, going back to Bitcoin and stuff like that, or shares, stocks and shares, it's what it's worth to you, whether it generates an income for you or whether it's an investment which you want to sell at when it reaches X, Y, or Z, basically. But it's all a perception. So let's say, just going back to NFTs, right? Have you heard of the tulip bubble?
Tulip bubble, no.
Right. Okay. So I hope that most people would have heard of the tulip bubble. Google it, right? It was tulip mania. So what happened? It was to create. It's funny. The Dutch were actually big commerce people, right? So the Dutch went out. And everyone thinks tulips were generated in Amsterdam, right? And Holland, right? Yeah. But what happened was tulips were not native of Holland, right? So what happened was, these traders went out to Turkey and places like that and found these bulbs that, these flowers. And then what happened to them was when they got a disease, they actually changed color. So you got different, rather than just all being red, you had variegations of red and stuff like that. So these people actually started trading tulip ball, not flowers, but the actual balls themselves, right? To grow into flowers. And at that time, tulip mania took over. It was the biggest bubble in history. Right. If you've ever watched Wall Street 2, right? Money Never Sleeps. Okay. He talks about it on that one. That's the biggest bubble ever created in history. At that time, a single house was selling at the same price of one tulip bulb. A whole house selling the same price, and people were leveraging their houses, leveraging everything. All of a sudden, someone just went, "This is crazy," and it just took the biggest nosedive in history. Right, people lost millions and millions and millions, right? There were outbidding, there were auctions. So I urge everyone, have a look at something called the tulip bubble, right? And that it's history. History always repeats itself, right?
There we have it on Infinity Wealth Earth. NFTs are tulips.
No. Listen, history always repeats itself. Right? Yeah. Now, I'm not a bear on crypto. I'm not a bear on NFTs. Hey, as long as you make money, that's what makes money. But be sensible about what things and assets you're buying, right?
100%. Agreed.
We're about growing wealth over a period of time, buying the correct assets as well. And when you look at an NFT and you look at, I'm not saying crypto because I haven't, Ethereum, I think is great. Bitcoin's great. There's so many other altcoins out there as well.
Yeah.
I don't, in the long run, I don't understand what the value will be in the long run. Like, to give you a perfect example, Dogecoin. Yep. Where you have to be a smart investor, right, is Dogecoin has no value. They create it every time, and then they destroy a few. They create it, and they destroy a few. So with Bitcoin, you can only mine 21 million.
Yeah.
Right? This thing, there's no such thing. You just create it out of thin air.
Yeah.
Which is a bit like the Ponzi scheme that we're in at the moment. Right? But okay, so if you're creating it out of thin air, what real value has it got? The value is in the perception, and the game is called the bigger fool theory. Right? The bigger fool theory is that you buy it and hoping someone else will buy it for more than you paid for it. Yeah, but it has no underlying asset value. But you're hoping you bought it, someone else will go, oh, I'll buy that. So you're creating this momentum, right? The momentum builds. You'll go to a crescendo and then will fall flat on its face, right? So if you look at Doge went up with Elon Musk tweeting, and he's the biggest promoter around, tweeting about Doge. It went shot through the roof because all these guys were buying it. There's some idiot has actually got it up there when it was that high. Yeah. And he's now thinking it's going to come back. Whether it does or not, I don't know. It will only come back if other people start gearing it up again. But what you tend to find nowadays is that people buy it and then they just build it up. They're constantly promoting it, basically.
Yeah. Always hanging on to it.
Because they've already bought it to sell it to someone else.
Yeah.
So it's the bigger fool theory. Yeah. And I wonder. So this is, and I don't want to be a bear or anything else like that. So I don't want any, but the thing is, 2 years' time, 3 years' time, I wonder if it will go, the world went bloody mad. Right, the world went bloody mad. What the hell was this? Yeah, I wonder, because I want to own the underlying asset.
Yeah.
I'm not, if I said, I can be quite rude, but I can say to you, here's my pair of my old socks, my old smelly socks. I'm going to burn them and put them in an NFT, right? But there's silly things like that. Yeah, this guy who paid 38 million or 39 million, the reason why he paid it is because he made most of his money in Bitcoin and crypto anyway. So he's actually investing in it. And he said, well, it was the very first thing. Yeah. At the end of the day, someone has to be paying you 50 million in the future who believes in that. What if someone says, well, actually, mate, that's a really bad idea. Sod off. You've just burned 39 million. Yeah. Whereas if you buy a house, you buy a share or something like that, as long as it's a company that's making a profit. Yeah. It has underlying that it's a perception. It's a group perception, and group perceptions can change like that. Just remember that. Yeah. Group perceptions can change within a nanosecond. Now, the reason why cryptos took off, and I told you about the fiat system. I don't believe in that rubbish, but it was because there was a infinite, a defined amount that you could make. Yeah. Right. So it had an underlying value. Now, there are people that are promoting it, going, well, it's going to go to 1 million, it's going to go to 2 million, it's going to go to 100,000, it's going to go to 200,000. No one bloody knows. The simple thing is, it has no underlying asset value. Yeah. It has no underlying. The underlying value is the value that someone else perceives on it. Yeah. So if they perceive a value on it, they'll pay for more of them. If they don't perceive a value on it, be it because a government all of a sudden says, well, you know what, we're going to ban it. So someone will go, well, what's the point of me actually having it if they're going to ban it? Yeah. So if that perception changes, and I'm not talking about cryptos necessarily, I'm talking about things like, NFTs and stuff like that. That perception, if that changes, what are you going to do? Yeah. So you always have to ride the wave in any investing cycle. That it is cyclical. You have to ride the wave, and the wave right now is, do you know what? There's a lot of hype going on, but you don't buy when the hype's there. You buy it when it falls down into the right position, and then you add to it. Yep. And then you sell it at the top and it drops down. So, I mean, let's just have a look. What's Bitcoin today? Do you know? I'll have a look at, Bitcoin's down 4.6%. It's just under shy of 60. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It went up all the way up to close on to 70. Did it actually go to 70? I think he actually went more than 70. Yeah, he went up to 60, 66. Yeah. So, and the thing is, you always have ebbs and flows, and you've got to buy something. If you're a trader, that's great. You trade it. Otherwise, just buy it. When it drops down, you buy it, and you buy it with money that you can afford to lose.
Yeah. Which is what I was saying to you earlier, right? Like, and this is what we said all the time, is especially if you're in a market like crypto, stocks, fine, completely different story. It's easier to analyze, easier to assess. We are measuring against something with the value of a stock, right? But I mean, even that to a certain extent, you could argue that the way we've seen the stock market behave in the last couple of months and stuff. But still, compared to crypto, still has an underlying comparable, right? An analytical point, should I say? Yeah. Whereas crypto, right, is very high risk, no real value basis, no real use.
The value is what the value that people perceive on it. So I'm just trying to get something out. Hold on. No, I haven't got it. No, sorry, I haven't got any notes. Right. But if I held a £20 note or a $20 or $100 note, whatever, it has a value because you've been given that perception of that value. By your government, right? At the moment, crypto has no value because it's only the people that are participating in it that are putting that value there. If it's accepted everywhere, then it'll be different. Then the value will go up. But the vast majority of people will probably, since we were off air as well, is it which country has adopted Bitcoin as a currency now?
I'll tell you now.
Yeah. Sorry, I knew it off the top of my head.
Yeah. So
I didn't want to get it wrong, basically.
El Salvador.
There you go. Right. So El Salvador adopted Bitcoin as their main currency. And actually, they were quite wise because they did it when it was really low.
Yeah.
Now, the vast majority of people were out on the streets going, we don't want Bitcoin. Main reason why is they haven't got access to a computer. Right? They haven't got access to a computer. So what use is something that you need electronic digits to order to work?
Yeah, it's the funniest guinea pig country because you can't actually use it as a use case.
No, but what I'm saying is, so, the vast majority, they'll be bringing out, they're talking about digital currency here in various countries are talking about digital currency, right? Now, with this digital currency, they are saying, we want to invent it. We want to, and so we could just drop it into your account and we can do it at transactions easier, stuff like that. But blockchain has actually created that. Blockchain as a technology is brilliant. For the uses that it has, is absolutely brilliant. Just like the .com bubble, everything went up. Anything with a .com at the end, even though it wasn't making any money, just went through the roof. Right. If you now look at the tulip bubble, there's been lots of bubbles. In history. Now, a lot of people say, well, Donny's wrong. No, there've been lots of bubbles. How do we know? How do you know that this is not the massive bubble? And it is. Yeah, that's my personal belief anyway. But ride it and try and make as much money as you can out of it. You know?
Yeah, that's it. It's just coming back to the point I was saying. It's like, whatever this is, and you 100% rightly said, no one knows price.
No one knows
where it's, you know, even the people in the companies creating the coins and supporting the coins, no one knows. Again, like what Martin's saying, it's us who put the value on it. It's us that perceive that Bitcoin is X. It's the market of the people who are transacting Bitcoin, not anybody outside the cryptocurrency space, inside the cryptocurrency space, that are putting the value on this thing. So until it doesn't go out to the wider, until it doesn't have any sort of pathway of how it's going to be used and adopted and utilized in globally, internationally, nationally, whatever it is, there is no way of telling, which means that we just have to look at it as it is now, which then means you have to invest wisely. You have to make sure you're securing the money that you put in, that you're not risking too much. You need to make sure you're taking profits at when those things go up and not just waiting for the moon, basically. Yeah. And that's one thing that I've learned, especially in the crypto market, 100%, right? If you are looking to get in, or if you forget looking, and most of the people are most probably in now that are watching already, they're most probably well into their sort of crypto portfolios, I would imagine. But you're looking at, you know, there's tons of coins that people send me, like cheap coins, you know, people that think it's valuable to get 74 million of X coin because it's like at 0.000001 and being a rubbish coin, right? Look at the reality of these things. Like what Martin said with NFTs, what if you are gonna, you know, get involved and you're an artist and you're gonna sell, look at what is the most logical way of making money in this industry. In cryptos, what is the most logical way? Which are the big guys, which are people are using? What are Ethereum? How many cryptos are based off of the Ethereum technology, blockchain technology, right? Like that has a massive benefit off of that. So what are the big boys? What are the ones that are going to give you the consistent returns? Not the one that you're gonna risk 10 grand and you're going to try and like get something that catches 5,000 because people are talking about it online, like you know, whether it's Dogecoin, whether it's whatever it is. Go for the more realistic, and in this sort of space and you know, the whole crypto market, it sometimes can be so easy to get intertwined into what other people are saying. Step back, look at it from a risk management perspective. I'm putting X in. What is likely to be my safest bet of making a decent buck, right? Yes, okay, your coin, the one that's might be more sensible to invest in, may not go 5,000% like these stupid coins do, but that also means that you're completely mitigating or mitigating a lot of the risk that you would have with that quote unquote shit coin or whatever it is, right? So,
I mean,
you know,
it's all about perception.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you tend to find is that even the lower altcoins, basically, what happens is that people buy them in loads and then they start promoting them on websites and stuff like that, right? So just remember that someone else is promoting. Yeah. Where you're in, no matter what you buy, whether it's stock, shares, crypto, property, there's always a seller, and there's a motive behind the seller. Why is he wanting to sell? Yeah, property, what differently? But again, you know, if it's that great, he's selling it. Yeah, so there's always going to be promoters, people promoting stuff to get rid of their inventory that they've got. Yeah, and they're hoping that all of a sudden, what will happen is that it's shot up with a lot of the altcoins because you only need fractional movements, but the spread is huge. Yeah, so you don't actually get that much. Yeah. So you know, so and so coin's gone up 20%, 30%. You know, and it's only a fractional move because it's so low value. All of a sudden, everyone go, it's gone up. They're buying it and they'll push it up. Yeah. But if no one buys it, it's just going to go like that again. Yeah, exactly. As soon as the buying subsides, the price subsides. Yeah. Exactly. So just be aware of that. You know, and listen, I'm not against crypto. I'm not against. I'm not. I think it has value. The technology has value going forward. I'm not sure if all the coins are going to be here.
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm
100%.
sorry. I'm just gonna. I know I may get a lot of people who are gonna dislike the video or anything else like that.
But Martin, you have to tell me this coin will be there, won't it? Gonna get like that.
Well, actually, we should invent our own coin. I told you. I think we should invent our own coin. The Infinity Wealth coin.
Infinity Wealth coin. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So unfortunately, I can't see it. Yeah. I think it's a craze at the moment. Ride the craze, but be aware of that craze can go.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. I think it's a good summary on the crypto. What is happening is happening. Accept it's happening. Do what you can to make your money, to make it work. Great. If you want to keep some stuff, keep it. Fine. We'll see what happens. Basically, there's one thing in this industry that we know now is we don't know where it's heading. We don't know what it's going to go, how it's going to end. All we know is, things are going up, things are going down. So behave like again, remember, Infinity Wealth is all about being smart investors, about creating money and wealth that can actually last and have longevity. So be a smart investor with this, take smart decisions, don't make those amateur mistakes that other people would with FOMO.
I mean, look, Bitcoin, I think just looking at let me just have a quick look at the chart of Bitcoin, right? Because quite a lot of people that I know have got into Bitcoin. I said, well, you can get into it, but make sure that you realize that you don't spend more, you don't risk more money than you're prepared to lose, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Bitcoin could go to about 45,000, mate.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's forming a double top, right?
Yeah, I see
Bitcoin,
that.
when I look at it, I think double top.
Head and shoulders,
Yeah, double top. So I think, do you know what? It'll probably drop down to about 45,000.
Yeah, I've got my marker around between 45 and 48, basically.
Yeah, it's going to fall back down to that moving average, basically.
Yeah.
But it looks as if it's topped out for now.
Yeah, exactly.
For now. That's not to say, but for now. So if you want it to go buy Bitcoin, don't be buying it now.
Yeah, wait for there's definitely a dip happening.
Don't FOMO in, So maybe we should do another one about where to buy and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, so what else are we going to talk about? I tell you one thing I do want to talk about. Sorry, mate.
Go on. No, you go first.
The corrupt governments that we're working with at the moment and living in. I think we should talk about that.
Go for it.
Okay. Where in the world, they talk about banana republics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
While we're being off air, while we're being off air, you've heard about the Federal Reserve, the federal people in the Fed who've been insider trading. You've got Nancy Pelosi's husband insider trading. You've got all the senators. Can you remember before the crash, loads of senators dumped their stock? Can you remember? Before the COVID crisis, right?
Yeah.
These guys should, and I'm not bigging up the UK or anything else like that. I love the UK, passionate, right? But you know what? If that shit happened here, they'd be in prison, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
If that shit happened here, our press would be all over it and there'll be an uproar.
Yeah.
You think about our MPs who maybe are trying to get a little bit more money from the second homes and stuff like that. Can you remember all that press that went on?
Yeah. Even when the vaccine stuff happened, the guy that was leading, and his sort of allotment with the shares of the companies that were doing the first vaccine, there's a lot of bad press around that. So no one's forgiven.
No. But in the States, I'm not an American, but it infuriates me, right? It infuriates me that, and it's all been brushed under the carpet, whereas these guys were actually buying bonds, in their positions, full positions. Nancy Pelosi knew about certain things coming out with, I think it was Amazon, because they were going to, Trump had gone with Microsoft, they were going to drop Microsoft, now they're going to buy Amazon. And I'm sorry, it's all insider trading. All these guys should be locked up or should never be voted for again. And it's up to us as the general public to say, do you know what? I'm sorry, you're a crook. Get out. I'm not going to vote for you. I want someone. And the other thing, I think society, and I'm not banging on my drum, right? But the other thing is the unequal society has been created by the easy monetary policy, which has made people wealthy who've already got money. And that's one thing that, we've always said, look, in order to get onto that thing, you need to actually get onto assets, owning assets, because these guys, all they're doing is promoting assets all the time, whether it's stocks and shares or whether it's, whatever it is, basically, they're just promoting it, Kiki, right? And we should have people running our country who are not in it, who are in it to actually help the everyday man, right? Everyday man who is not necessarily a billionaire, and they should be going in to serve, not to get what they're getting out of it. And I'm sorry, the Americans, it's a banana republic, and I'm sorry, I hate any, I don't want to offend any American viewers, but you're one of the biggest banana republics out there. Most of the Western countries are, but you have taken the bullet. You've taken the SpaceX ride all the way up top, right? Yeah, I know you got communist China, you got this, but hey, mate, in blatantly honest, open, public, these officials have come on, and if that happened here, they'll be banged up in prison. They'll be like, excuse me, can you show us? Yeah. Sorry, instant trading, off you go.
Yeah.
You're no longer an MP. They retire. I mean, think of all those MPs that retired basically because they've been caught.
Yeah, exactly.
If that happened in the UK, they'll be retired. They'll be demanding for their retirement.
Yeah.
And yet you've heard nothing in the US about that. Nothing. It's all brushed under the carpet.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was my little gripe.
I would say it's no surprise though.
That was my little gripe. Yeah. So what are we going to talk about then? Sorry, mate.
So no, it's good. Oil.
Yeah.
Get to oil, and let's get to what we said about oil, or what you said about oil.
Yeah.
God.
Well, if you remember, with oil, I had actually said 6 months ago, when it was I think it was in the 40s, something like that, right?
When oil was finished, no one's going to buy oil again.
Yeah, and I had said to you, buy BP, buy oil. Can you remember? Go back, right? I said, buy BP, buy oil, because every time there's a crisis like this, the commodities take a big hit and they take a meteoric rise again. Go back quite a few videos, right? And you look at what we said. Now, the same thing is carrying on, and it happened before, where oil reached $140 a barrel, right? We had the dot-com, and then we had the financial crisis. Just before the financial crisis, it was all going rocketing up. All of a sudden, oil came down. Yeah, oil came down for $140 all the way down. Same thing's going to happen now, right? Oil, unfortunately, we are in an inflationary environment right now, right? Inflation actually builds up asset prices, whether it's stocks and shares, or mainly hard commodities, right? Not necessarily stocks and shares, just depending on which ones they are. Because it can be a detrimental effect on some, because interest rates are going to rise, right? So what you've got to bear in mind is, with these assets, they go up. Property's gone up because of the QE and all that money that's gone into it, basically. Yeah. And it won't. Yeah, I think next year, towards the tail end of this year, beginning of next year, I think we're topping. I think we're topping. I think I think we're causing that. You can see it by reaction of oil. Yeah, it's gone completely ballistic. Everyone's going inflation, and it's true. Food prices have gone through the roof. Everything has gone through the roof, and the idiots that we have running our central system, finance system, are a bunch of monkeys, right? Who have no idea what they're doing. No idea, apart from enriching themselves and their mates.
Yeah.
But they're not there for the common man. Yeah, they're not there for the common man. Oh, how can I get re-elected? Well, if I make so-and-so enriched, he will then donate to my cause, and I can carry on running for another couple of terms, basically. It's rubbish, right? So if you look at oil, I think, oil is in a meteoric rise. It will have a pullback because it's moved so much. It will have a pullback. and I think then it will have another swing up, basically, you know. And when it, you know, they're already talking about $100 oil. They're already talking about $100 oil. You know, they'll start talking about $140 oil. But if you remember when oil went to zero,
what
was that? Yeah, that's the thing about investing. The beauty about investing is it's psychology. It's human psychology.
Human behavior is human psychology.
Human behavior is, whether you're in property, whether you're in stocks and shares, crypto, anything. It's all about human behavior and understanding human behavior, right? Understanding when it's euphoric, understanding when it's depressive. You want to buy when it's depressive, and you want to sell it when it's euphoria. Right? That's the best way to work stuff in your whole life, no matter what it is. If it's an asset class, and it's all governed by, prices are governed by that, right? If you can manage to do that, that would be great, you know? But yeah, so you'll find that there'll be a euphoria. I mean, at the moment, everyone's talking about inflation. And yeah, it's not transitory. I don't think it's transitory. It's never been transitory. The amount of money that they've pumped into the system is ridiculous. But then inflation's not inflation if the stock market crashes.
Yeah, exactly.
Inflation won't be around because people won't be buying stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So if the stock market crashes, or if there's a huge correction in the stock market, inflation will disappear.
Yeah.
It's natural because it's a boom and bust cycle. Yeah, whether they come back and start pumping it again, that's a different matter. But you've got to be mindful of where you are, going on at the moment. Yeah, I mean, I know there's talk about, you know, the sky's the limit, but it's just gone crazy. I mean, look at, the one that I think started all this is, you know, Donald Trump has got a not an IPO. He did a SPAC, right?
Yeah.
So his company, did you see how much it went up? 300-400%?
Yeah.
Madness, mate. Madness, right? The company doesn't even produce a profit.
That's Trump supporters for you, mate. All those wealthy white guys.
Yeah, but I don't think it was Trump. I think it was the herd mentality.
The herd, yeah. That's what the Trump supporter, yeah.
They don't even, so there were traders that were going, well, that's fine. A lot of traders trade it because they're riding the wave. That's fine.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Good on you. If you know when to get off, you know when to get on, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Brilliant, right? But, it just went ballistic. All because, he was going to take on this, take on that. So they've been, and you look at Tesla, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got to confess something. I'm not a big Tesla fan. I never have been. Apologies. A lot of people think they're great cars. I've tested them. I have actually tested a few Teslas as well. Do you know what? What would you rather have? Would you rather have a Porsche, or would you rather have a Merc, or would you rather have a Tesla?
I'll actually rather have the electric Porsche.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about an electric Merc as well.
Yeah, I've not even seen the electric Merc actually.
Oh no, it's it's cute.
The Porsche I've seen.
Actually, there's S-Class Merc electric QS. Wow.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, Google it. Wow. You'll see it on YouTube.
Okay.
Fantastic car.
Okay.
Fantastic car. Yeah. Ultimate luxury, right? But what the whole point is, so with Tesla announced that Hertz, the company that's bankrupt, that's filing out of Chapter 11, has decided to buy 100,000 Teslas.
Yeah.
Right? Putting on order for 100,000 Teslas, right? A company that's bankrupt.
Yeah.
Right? All of a sudden, the Tesla price, so that order was worth 4.8 billion.
Yeah.
The stock price went over 50 billion.
Yeah.
No, he's made him the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
Right? It's made him the richest man in the world. Listen, if you're into that, that's great. Yeah. Right? If you made money off that, that's great. Good on you. Right? But when I look at it logically, and I think that don't make sense.
Yeah.
I just look at it on a real perspective and go, that doesn't make sense. And I guarantee you, I'll lay my life on it, that Hertz will come out and say, actually, we didn't mean 100,000. We meant 10,000, or we meant X thousand.
Yeah.
Because first of all, and the other thing that they did it's all, you've got to be careful about promotion, right? The other reason why they did it is because they've got association now with Tesla. When they do the IPO, they're hoping that people will buy them. Hertz. Yeah. People will create that momentum, go, oh yeah, I'll have the Hertz IPO. I'll have the Hertz IPO. They're going to buy Teslas. They're going to be the best around. Yeah. Yeah, you've just got to be careful of all the promotion and the propaganda that goes out there, unfortunately.
Talking of SPACs, actually, one in the limelight now, as we're talking about stocks, WeWork.
Kiki is coming back. It's coming back.
It's launched already. It's done.
Oh, is it? Sorry,
mate. It's done.
So what did it go out at?
Okay, so I'll give you the full rundown. I don't know. I think we spoke about this before, but Bowex SPAC that was formed to purchase, or quote unquote purchase, WeWork to help them IPO, basically. So Bowex did this already 8 months ago, basically. Right. So they were the acquirer of WeWork, and their mission was to help WeWork IPO. Obviously, after the first failing and Adam Newman's shenanigans and whatnot, and all that media hype that was around the founder and what he did, calling it a tech company when it just brands offices, not really tech, but all those kind of things. But they finally went through. It was very under the radar. It was very no hype, no building up of what they did in the first one. Sending investors emails and doing advertisement campaigns and doing all this sort of stuff. Oh, we're IPO. Just literally like one day you're there, one day they're in a SPAC. One day that thing is helping WeWork to IPO. So now they're listed on the Nasdaq now. I think they did have obviously a short-lived initial burst, but I do think the stock is currently trading at what's it currently trading at? So the stock is currently trading at $11. So
okay, all the SPACs start at $10.
So we obviously, the hype spike, when a company IPOs always, we went up to 13, then it came back down to, then it went lower. It went down to 9, and then it went all the way up to 15, nearly 15, basically on the 18th, and now it's back down at 11. So that's just another story on the line. But it is very interesting. But I just want to WeWork from WeWork. So I actually work in a WeWork. So I'm in a WeWork at the moment, back in with 9 Designs, and the way they marketed themselves and the way they raised a lot of money initially, calling themselves and stating themselves a tech company. If anything, they've actually gone backwards. They've actually reduced the amount of tech and stuff. So their app, initially it was almost like a property management app, a WeWork app that they had. I could talk to all members in the app. I could talk to people that were in my building. I could say, hey, I've got 50 free monitors or 50 monitors that I need to get rid of. I'm selling them for £10. It was like a community feel. That you could see they're trying to be innovative, and they're trying to, and in the space of property, anything is tech. You show someone how to automate a spreadsheet, you're called a tech company. Property is not notorious for being very tech savvy. So so it's very easy to sort of call yourself a tech company in the property space. So, but at the same time, I would be very sort of wary and conscious of even looking at this, as a real sort of long-term investment. And the only reason why is because it simply is going to, the only way this company makes more money is by acquiring more office spaces and increasing vacancies. The amount of money and cash they're burning through, they are not going to raise any more to try and invest in tech. They're already burning through ridiculous amounts. I mean, billions of dollars just to pay their bills on rental, like renting paying their landlords, basically leases. They are not in any way, shape, or form going to be able to raise another X billion pounds to then all of a sudden become a fantastic tech company, or like, the Tesla of the workspace world. So in my eyes, they perceived and positioned themselves as a tech firm, but their lies obviously got caught out with Adam, with the first founder and stuff. That they're not really a tech firm. They're just a nicely branded,
the property company.
Yeah, they're just a nicely branded Airbnb style for offices, basically. You just book what you want.
Exactly right. Airbnb, but they actually own or have licenses or leases.
Like,
to the underlying asset.
So their assets are their leases, obviously. Well, assets on the liabilities are their leases. So and their money is their customers, and maybe some big corporations like HSBC might have a floor or something, whatever. But again, these guys, the maximum contract that they would have is 12 months. It's not like traditional offices that you're tied in for 5 years. That they've got contracts. A lot of them now, even with like, so for example, we are an all access membership, which if you did on a monthly basis, you could cancel any time. But because we signed a 12-month contract in ours, we got a significant discount. So we knew, we've only got about 4 months left on that. So we actually have lived out our contract. But most of the customers aren't that. Most of them are on paying the monthly ongoing, fee, whatever. So there's no guarantee of future income. So I just wanted to put that out there. If anybody is looking at this sort of, but it's an interesting story nevertheless. It's like a company that failed to IPO first has now actually gone on to the open market.
And they've IPO'd at a lot less valuation.
Compared to the first time, the first time was ridiculous.
It got humbled. It was stupid. And we've been in WeWorks quite a bit, but it was silly, But I mean, I think if people are looking for the next, let's say 6 months, because I know we talked about it 6 months ago, right? Inflation is on the rise. If you look at commodities and stuff like that, it's on the rise, right? And if you look, if you go back to quite a few things, I'd said to you, buy commodities, basically.
Yes.
And if you don't know how to buy commodities, buy commodity ETFs, basically. Right? But not necessarily oil itself, but I'm talking about agriculture, right? Yeah. Even now, food prices are going up. Right. So what you want to buy is, like right now, you want to look at mining, right? You want to look at miners. You want to look at companies that actually produce metals and things that are rising in price because of inflation. Because of the inflation, they're just rising in price. The other thing is, we always talked about the cycle in gold and silver. Well, that cycle in gold and silver is coming again. It is coming again. I mean, the depressing thing about it is that gold has not really performed very well, right? And it hasn't performed very well, mainly because of Jamie Dimon, if you remember Jamie Dimon.
Dimon.
That's right, Jamie Dimon, right? If you remember, JP Morgan actually control the paper market. The paper market controls the asset prices of the underlying asset, which is crazy. But they've been pushing it down. They can't do that to Bitcoin. They can't do that to other, they can do it to this one, basically. But I would always say to people as well, just be aware. It doesn't cost you anything actually putting a bit of gold and silver, not necessarily the paper asset. You can trade the paper asset. I wouldn't keep the paper asset for long term. But the actual physical underlying asset, basically. Look at commodities. Look at things like corn, wheat. They're just going up because prices are going up because of inflation.
Massively, yeah.
So another way to play that hedge or that would be to actually invest in oil companies, like I said to you in BP. I remember when I said to you, start buying BP, it was £1.20.
Yeah, exactly.
£1.20, £1.30. Yeah, it's now £3.80.
Yeah. There you go.
And it's been paying you a dividend.
Yeah, there you go. They're paying you to buy their stock, mate.
and it's been paying you a dividend.
Yeah.
But what you have to do is, in investing, turn off all the crap, turn off all the bloody noise, and look at it normally.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that make sense? Does that not make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, it's pretty hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
So it's not going to go bust.
Yeah.
People still need that product, so I'm going to buy it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Go on.
I was going to say I've gone a bit yellow.
Oh, I don't know.
I've gone a bit yellow.
It's your lighting, I think.
Oh God, you are.
It's your lighting.
I think it is actually. Yeah, the sun's going down. So
yeah. Two things I want to touch on then, just before you wrap up. Then, semiconductors, massive one that we also spoke about, mate. Like I must say, my portfolio is looking very good, very, very healthy, very, very good in absolute. And semiconductors are, if I tell you, in Nvidia, I am 52% up profit, which is absolutely insane, mate. If I put everything into that at the beginning of the year, that's 52% for the year. So I don't know what the banks are saying with their 0.01% interest. So, but no, on a serious note, like all of them absolutely performing like gems. You know, the ones we specifically analyzed in that video again 6-7 months ago.
I mean, there's a shortage. You know, I don't know if anyone's tried to buy a car, right? But because of semiconductors, there's a huge shortage of semiconductors, right? Because cars, modern cars now need semiconductors for their dashboards, for the LEDs. They've got loads of things that they need semiconductors for. Because there's not enough semiconductors being produced, a lot of the car manufacturers are cutting back car production as well. Yeah. Right. So it's the same old. There's a lot of there's a lot of supply chain issues at the moment. You know, like we had timber went through the roof. It's beginning to rise again. By the way, timber is rising again. Yeah, timber. If you look at the chart of timber, it hit rock bottom and it's beginning. The timber chart does look interesting to me. Although it's related directly to housing, that's the only downside. Because I don't think housing will carry on if interest rates go up. But if you look at the timber chart, it looks quite interesting, right? To me, because it hit rock bottom and it looks as if it's on the rise again. I think there's a pullback today. But like everything, you know, you've got to buy it. Like with semiconductors, you know, I know you're a holder of semiconductors. When you sell semiconductors, there will be a time. Never, ever fall in love with the stock. Yeah, exactly. 100%. It's the vehicle to get you somewhere where you want to go. Property is the same, right? But what you'll find is that a lot of companies will go up and start manufacturing loads of semiconductors because there's a shortage. All of a sudden, there'll be a glut. There'll be a glut of semiconductors. And when that normally happens is when there's a recession coming, all of a sudden everyone pulls back on spending, the less semiconductor. And these guys, it's always the same. Boom and bust cycles are always the same. Right? They're all of a sudden, they're surrounded by semiconductors. Right? And these companies then just go down, drop like a stone. Buy them. Because that inventory and that excess will go away. It will happen. It will happen. But and I don't know when that. I haven't got a crystal ball. Wish I had. I haven't got a crystal ball. I've lost. You know, and I've been I've been a bit of a bear. I didn't believe the market. I did ride some of it. Didn't ride other bits of it. And I've just been caught out. But I still think we are close on to where we're going to go. It doesn't make sense, you know, with tapering that's going on. You look at property. I mean, look, congratulations, Kiki, everyone. He's bought a house. Bought a house, well done. But so, you know, you look at property prices, they've gone through the roof, haven't they? You look at London. So just going to property for now, right? As people may know, I've got quite a big portfolio. I've struggled, which is one of the main reasons why a lot has been going on. And the reason why I struggled is because when everything in London, the HMOs in London, a lot of the Eastern Europeans have gone home. Restaurants had shut. There wasn't much demand. And I didn't want to put anyone. I'd rather just have it empty rather than just put anyone, Tom, Dick, or Harry in there. And so rental values really dropped, Kiki. They've picked up quite a bit because a lot of landlords are sold out as well. A lot of landlords are sold out, right? And so there's a little bit of a shortage of properties in certain areas. And people are the rents are going up. Also, partly to do with inflation.
Definitely.
So property rents have gone up. So London is basically picking up now, but it's still lagging a lot of the other things. Now, the main thing to be aware of right now is, the Bank of England is talking about raising interest rates, and they should have. Interest rates should not be where they are now. They should never have been in throughout the last 10, 15 years, right? We just created the asset bubble. So when the correction does come in this asset, it will be a larger correction than what people are expecting, right? But he is going to put up interest rates, right? Because if inflation ramps out, and the only way, and the only way the Fed, the Bank of England, anyone else can safeguard themselves not to reduce interest rates is to say to everyone, we're going to tank the stock market. If they tank the stock market, demand will go down. But all the wealthy already know, actually, we've got inside here, they're going to tank the stock market. I'm going to pull it all out. They'll tank the stock market. Demand will go down. These guys will then go in and buy it all. That's the only way. That's the only way I can see him, apart from raising interest rates. He's got two choices: raising interest rates, or tanking it. And if he raises the interest rates, it's still going to have a tanking effect anyway.
Well, exactly. 100%.
So I think we're living in a very uncertain times. It really are. How do you feel? How do you feel as a youngster?
Definitely 100%. I think, I've been saying to you that, like, even I don't have as much experience in the market as you, but so a lot of my foundations on things like Forex, right? Like analyzing the charts and looking at what happens in the past, always backtracking on the charts and looking.
It happens again.
And it, when history repeats itself, kind of thing. And obviously you sort of stack that up to what things have been happening now, but also just generally, like, economically, in terms of like things like, even materials and everything, at some points you sort of I started to feel as if, like, things don't stack up necessarily, right? Things don't,
and it makes you a little bit wary. I mean,
and it makes you I mean, the other thing that in the property world that we've been talking about quite a bit is that when you buy an asset, when you buy an underlying asset, you buy a building that, whereas before you were going to refurb it. So and the other thing is, there's loads of gurus out there, right? There's loads of gurus out there telling you how to flip, telling you how to what was the other one? I don't know, Kevin, whatever his name was, right? But there's loads of them. And the thing is, their business is to actually make property attractive, and property is attractive over the long term, right? But sell you that dream, right? Sell you that dream. Now, the thing about property that we've noticed, and all my mates and everyone has noticed, is that before we used to do our numbers, go, okay, we can buy it for X amount. We're actually paying more for property now, right? Because property prices have gone up. But now the other unknown factor is the actual building costs. So when you go out there right now, it's hard to find decent builders that will do the job for you. And so all these courses that are going, you know what? Look, here's a sheet of paper. You can buy it for 60 grand. You can refurb it for 25 grand. It's worth 100 grand. And that's your profit. If you do the work yourself.
And my word to that is, this guy has never done any property in his life. Right? If you go out there in the real world, you'll be hard pressed to find decent builders out there who are not busy. Right? When they give you a quote, I had 2 builders that let me down over summer. Over summer. And the prices are absolutely horrendous because building, I think one of them, I said, I tell you what, I'll just pay you labor only. I'll pay for materials. And he still walked off the bloody job. Right. And that was because I chose the wrong builder. That wasn't, that was him. That was my fault. It was a completely wrong builder, but I was desperate because I asked so many builders and they were all busy. So I won't be doing that again. Right. But the thing is in property, so if you're going to do something and you're going to, and I do urge everyone to, over the long term, to get into property, but don't go there with your eyes blinkered. Right now, what's happening is that, yes, property prices are going up. Yes, there's a shortage of houses. Yeah. But you're paying more to start with, because most money in property is made in the buying process. Yep. Or 90% of the profit is made in the buying process, the buying price. Yeah. The rest of it is made by you trying to find the right deal, right builder, right materials, like that. Yeah. But it's a buying price. And then obviously knowing what your end value is, right? If you don't know your end value and you don't know what the building cost is going to be, developments become, and I'm not saying people don't make lots of money in developments, they do, right? But it could be, if you're hugely successful, I think it could be more dangerous for you to do that because you're going out on a limb. Whereas if you've got nothing to lose, you've got nothing to lose, right? So I do feel that we're coming to a loggerhead on price, affordability. But then again, inflation's there; it's going to rocket up, rental values basically. Yeah. But you look at London. London collapsed. The rest of the country didn't collapse. London prices still have not gone back. Rents have gone up. Don't get me wrong. But Eastern Europeans have gone home. Because I was talking to someone in Northampton. Because I've got properties all over the place, right? So one of the guys was saying, look, and there's a large Polish community in Northampton. They're great, the Poles are absolutely fabulous, but a lot of them have gone back home, right? The reason they've gone back home is because Poland is doing so much better. Brexit came about, and in Brexit, they said, well, we don't feel welcome anymore. So a lot of them, because the cost of living is cheaper out there, and life is better out there for them now. So a lot of them have made the money here and they've gone back. So, and then that's why we've got shortages of skilled labor as well in the building trade at the moment. So you've got that. The other whammy is, if a lot of people have gone back home, why do you need more houses? I know that we're bringing in from different countries. We're trying to increase immigration for certain industries like hospital staff and stuff like that. So it's I think we're living interesting times. I think one thing that, because it's been quite general, this video, because we've been off quite a bit. I think it'll be interesting to see what people want us to review, what to look at, charts to look at. I think we should start getting back into charts and stuff like that. And investments, well.
We will 100%. We'll do some on our next call. We'll do some chart analysis. Just on that front, actually, just a tip for people to actually look at the Facebook stock. So since September, Facebook, it tanked. It absolutely, and it still is. The last couple of days, Facebook's earnings came out quite negative as well. Also, there's a lot of uncertainty. If you don't know that, Mark Zuckerberg announced that they're rebranding Facebook. So they're going to they want to turn into a metaverse company. I mean, that's another topic of conversation for another day, Martin. But so there's a lot of uncertainty around it, but keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on that stock.
I mean, all right. So Facebook's price is $314. 0.72. Right. And we were at
where were we at?
Right. But the thing about Facebook is, it's almost become a value stock. Generating the income that it's generated. But I do hate Facebook. I hate all the big giants now, all the tech, because they listen to us on the phone. They sell our data to advertisers, and yet they pay no bloody tax. So stop taxing me, tax them. I think we have to stand up and go, hold on a minute, tax them. Don't use my data. Don't use my data without my permission. You pay the taxes in my country. You can use my data. Not a problem.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's true. It's true.
But don't go offshoring, because that makes my job a lot harder, because I'll have to pay more. So I do have a thing about big tech now. I'm becoming very anti big tech and stuff like that, because I think only 5 companies in the world that run it.
It's true. It's very true.
Right?
Very true.
They've got more power than than governments now, and they're lobbying constantly. So I think something needs to be done about them.
It's very true. Very, very true.
Yeah.
But,
so I mean, but it'd be interesting. So you were saying about Facebook, it's gone down quite a bit.
Just on a note of like this a few analysis we'll do. I said, like if you want guaranteed returns, the no look sort of investments, these are your kind of ones. But what we'll do is next session we'll do an actual what we used to do in the good old days. Get the charts up. Get the charts up on the screen.
But I mean,
have a look through.
The other thing is, what's Microsoft? Okay, Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
Microsoft came out with really good results yesterday.
Yeah.
This is one of the most overvalued companies out there now.
Hugely.
Right? It's gone completely ballistic.
Yeah.
Don't buy Microsoft. Don't be buying stuff like that. But like Kiki said, if you look at Facebook, if you believe that Facebook, is coming back, then buy Facebook. Right?
The other one I want to mention actually is, I must say, just to interrupt there, is Coinbase. So I was actually I brought at a good price in the IPO. I brought at a good price in the IPO, and obviously my Coinbase stock was down like hell. It was in bad shape. Obviously when we had a crash, but now it's this
because it's related to Bitcoin.
The
price of it is related to Bitcoin.
That's why it was inevitable for me. But again, I'm eyeing that stock up just as much as I'll eye up the crypto market, So it's like in sort of.
And I think next time I'm going to give some, not tips, because we're not a tip channel, but I'm going to open up your eyes on certain investments that you should be doing. Bearing in mind how inflation is working now. You shouldn't be too much in cash. How inflation is working, and you can get a dividend as well. Exactly. So but the like I said, oil is still working. So what's BP right now? I'll tell you what BP is right now. So BP is £3.57. Right, it hit all the way up to 380. I think it did.
It did.
But there'll be a pullback. There'll be a pullback and it pays a dividend as well. So there's certain things that you should be into, but have a diverse portfolio in life, just like everything else, right?
Diverse
and be diverse. So you can have a bit of crypto, you can have a bit of this, you can have a bit of that, and then just see which one is doing better.
Exactly.
Okay, I think that's a good way to end. It's been quite a long update, isn't it, really?
I think it's deserved, though. They're going to enjoy it.
So, I mean, you did your Jedi mind trick on me, didn't you?
So what I was going to say, actually, Martin, is in the new year, I think we should do an Infinity Wealth meetup. So we'll go into the WeWorks, because we'll be able to book out weekend slots for no cost and whatever. So we should do one. Get our fans in if you want to come down London. Let's have a catch up. Let's have a drink. That'd
be really good. That'd be good. That'd be really good. A little Infinity Wealth meetup.
That's what I was
free
thinking.
Of charge. That's good.
So let's do it. Do that in the new year. I think it'll be great to see. So we always get these comments and stuff, and online it's network. We haven't seen half the people's faces. So there's a fair few. I'm pretty sure that would be up for that. So I'll organise that. I'll get all that organised for the new year, and I think it'll be good to meet someone.
And we can do a virtual party to. I'm trying to get more people in the US and people, because I know we don't just talk about property in the UK. It is about it's all over. It's all over. I mean, we haven't even gone into the Evergrande situation in China and what a collapse China's going to be. We haven't even talked about that. But that's an accident that's happened, and there's more repercussions to come later on.
Definitely, there definitely is on that.
But so So next time, I think we should have and it'll be interesting if people actually comment below.
Yeah.
What would you like to talk about? What are you interested in?
Tell us
what are you interested in, and then we can cover those topics.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it'll be interesting to you, because at the moment we're just talking about what's interesting to us,
yeah,
or we feel is relevant to us and relevant to the current market. But there may be certain things that you want to talk about, be it crypto, be it gold, be it commodities. Be it you've got £100,000 and we're not financial advisors, so but where would I invest it?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
what would you do in the current market, stuff like that? So
definitely,
yeah.
Sounds good. So remember, normal drill. Remember to like. Remember to subscribe. Remember to keep that notification bell
and share
away.
And everyone's gone on our Facebook page. We've had some more people on our Facebook page as well.
Yeah. They still trickle through. So I know everyone's
put a link on there as well.
Everyone's going to be excited to watch this. So we're going to keep this coming regularly now, and let's do this meetup in January. That'll be exciting.
Excellent, mate. Excellent.
Cool.
All right. Listen, I'll speak to you soon. Yeah. All right, everybody. Take care.
Bye. See you later.
Bye.